Evans' three-point shot.
It's a powering shot, baby.
Morris takes it to the house.
The following is a production of the Rough Rider broadcast team, a presentation of Watlington and Shires Productions.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Center High School Awards Banquet for football and cheerleading. We have Coach Rick Meeks has taken the podium and is getting ready to start the evening off. We had a nice dinner here. It's the Counselor Stephen Shires, along with Scarlett Scoreboard Shires, helping set up everything. And Scarlett, we enjoyed a nice dinner of baked chicken with mignon with the bacon around it, along with some twice baked potato and green beans. So a very tasty meal. And we get to honor the players and the cheerleaders from last season's very successful football program. I'd like to thank our fall sponsors: Joe's Car Spa, McAdams Propane, Sandy Cox State Farm, Cornerstone Balance and Therapy, Bounds Insurance, Deb's Boutique, and now we're underway.
I'd like to go ahead and get started tonight, as everybody's finishing up. Before we get into the awards and recognitions, there's a lot of things that we can talk about, a lot of people that I'd like to thank before we get into that part of our evening. Our football team that we're going to celebrate tonight, not only a lot of individual accomplishments that we'll talk about through the evening, there's a lot of things that we have done, this group has done over the course of the last two seasons that haven't happened here in a while. And first and foremost, the one thing that I'm pretty proud of is the type of young men that they are becoming through our program and through our pillars and the things that we talk about every day. And through that, they were able to accomplish something that hasn't happened in 26 years, and that's back-to-back 7+1 seasons. And so they have laid a foundation for the classes behind them with pretty high expectations in terms of what's expected and how it's done, and they did it the right way. So very, very proud of them for that. And first, I want to start with thanking a good many people that allowed us to be able to accomplish the things that we accomplished this year from a team standpoint, from a staff, from a school district, and a community. First and foremost, it starts with the coaches' wives. I want to thank them for what they mean to our staff and to our coaches. It takes a special person to be a part of this livelihood and the time that we spend away from our families. And so I want to thank you for allowing your husbands to be a part of our coaching staff and our program. Next, I want to thank the parents. Y'all are probably the ones that are inconvenienced the most. We want a skyscraper over the program. We have to ask a lot of our parents, and the willingness that you guys have to help, and a lot of help. I want to thank you for that. to allow us to have the vision that we have from an athletic standpoint. Really believe a strong athletic department builds a strong school, and a strong school will always build a strong community. And so for you guys to back our vision and work with us to create that type of athletic department, thank you very much. I saw Ms. Valerie here tonight. Thank you for being here, running our business office, and I appreciate you for being here tonight. Maintenance and transportation, Ms. Amanda Kirby and Jesse Ruiz, helping us throughout the year when things come up, making sure we get to where we need to get to, making sure our facilities are ready to go when we hosting games and their time. Shelby Savings Bank, Farmer State Bank, Spartan Structures, Portical, our corporate sponsors through our Booster Club. I want to thank them. Our players, our moms that organize our team meals. I know the majority of that went through Miss Casey Lout, but there's a ton of you that helped organize that every Friday through Jared Nut Catering and making sure our guys were fed. And not only home games, but then the away games is we had our bags of travel and making sure our kids had the proper nutrition that we needed throughout the week and on game nights. This year asked a little bit different throughout the year to have things that we could have throughout the week, whether it be things that we can make for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, crackers, different types of fruit, things that we could have throughout the week to be properly nutritious. So that was a big thing for us this year, and your willingness to help with that. So thank you to all of our players' moms for that. Chris Wallington and Stephen Shires and our NetSN live stream, which they are here tonight as well, live streaming, and the amount of time that they dedicate back into our student athletes in our school to be able to stream as much as you possibly can. Thank you for that. All of our support groups, our cheerleaders, Ms. Klein, our band, Mr. Smith, the amount of time that you guys put in to support us on Friday nights, thank you for that. Ms. Tina Burns tonight, thank you very much for the meal. Appreciate y'all's time for catering that tonight. And then last, which she wasn't able to be here tonight because my others were playing basketball, but I want to thank my wife for allowing me to be able to be a part of these guys and what we're able to do every day, building our program. So there's no doubt that there's a lot of moving parts that go into making a successful program, and there's a lot of people that have to be on the same page. It's more than just the staff, it's more than just the kids, it's more than just the people inside the school district. It's our community, it's our parents, and there's a lot of people that are willing to help that maybe do not have a son playing or a daughter participating in cheer, but they want our program to be successful. So I want to thank everybody again for that and what you do behind the scenes so we can have the type of season that we want. We're going to start by recognizing our 2023 varsity football team. So we'll do this a few different ways. First, as I call your name, I have your certificate. I'm going to read off your certificate and any other accomplishments that happened this season that you earned. When we get into the other awards, once you receive the award, if you will go to the side with the coach that presented the award to get the picture, and then when the night's over, I'll stay here as long as I need to for families to take as many pictures as you want. But let's take the one with the coach so we can keep the flow of everything going. All right. All right. District 8, 4A, Division II, first team, all district defensive back. Number 2, Timothy Johnson. District 8, 4A, Division II, second team, all district defensive back. Number 3, Jermaine Hunter. District 848 Division II District Offensive MVP. District 848 Division II Academic All-District. Number 4, Imani Cross. District 848 Division II First Team All-District Utility Player. Number 5, DeCalvin Edwards. Number 6, Brandon Barnes. District 848 Division II Second Team All-District Wide Receiver. Number 7, TJ Bellin. Number 8, Braylon Moore. District 848 Division II First Team All-District Specialist, THCA Academic Second Team All-State. District 848 Division II Academic All-District. Number 9, Kobe Loud. District 848 Division II Second Team Outside Linebacker. District 848 Division II Academic All-District. Number 10, Caleb Mosley. Number 11, Jeremiah Ratcliffe. Number 12, Jeremy Bluford. District 848 Division II Academic All-District. Number 13, Kevin Robinson. Number 14, Jamarian Smith. District 848 Division II Honorable Mention Outside Linebacker. District 848 Division II Academic All-District. Number 15, Grant Gregory. Number 16, Jacaden Rogers. District 848 Division II First Team Wide Receiver. THCA Academic First Team All-State. District 848 Division II Academic All-District. Number 18, Lance Wilbur. District 848 Division II First Team All-District Punter and First Team All-District Kicker. Number 19, Carlos Hernandez. District 848 Division II First Team Inside Linebacker. Number 21, Cody Atkinson. Number 22, Hector Ramirez. District 848 Division II Honorable Mention Defensive Line. Number 23, Jackson Parker. Number 24, Noah Thompson. Number 25, Bryce Lee. District 848 Division II Honorable Mention Inside Linebacker. Number 26, Easton Wolf. Number 28, Edwin Rodriguez Moreno. District 848 Division II First Team All-District Running Back. Number 32, Caden Dixon. Number 33, Olarian Moore. Number 42, Omar Marcinus. District 848 Division II First Team Defensive Line. Number 44, Mason Mayo. Number 45, Dakota Carroll. Number 50, Alan Cortez. Number 52, Francisco Seferino Morales. District 848 Division II Academic All District, number 54, Jace Radney. District 848 Division II Honorable Mention Offensive Line, number 55, Jamie Jenkins. Number 56, Giovanni Hernandez. District 848 Division II Honorable Mention Defensive Line, number 57, Brandon West. Number 61, Trace Lester. Number 62, Trevor Lester. District 848 Division II First Team All District Offensive Line, number 65, Keaton Siegler. District 848 Division II Honorable Mention Offensive Line, District 848 Division II Academic All District, number 72, David Trejo. District 848 Division II Honorable Mention Offensive Line, number 75, Osvaldo Diaz. District 848 Division II Second Team All District Offensive Line, number 77, Wesley Calhoun.
Last but not least, this young man does not have a number on the roster, but he was very much a part of our team. He was the juice man on Friday nights. He always had a smile on his face. He did his work diligently. May or may not have crashed the drone into the net. Okay? Filmed hours of practice for us. A lot of stuff that honestly we wouldn't have had if he hadn't done it. Was very willing to do it, and I tell you what, he was absolutely a bright spot in my day every day. Is Mr. Caleb Handy.
All right, one thing I want to touch back on with our athletes that we just announced, and I know I said them on the certificate, but I want to recognize them one more time. So these young men would come forward, please. Imani Cross, Grant Gregory, Colby Lout, Caleb Mosley, Jace Radney, Jakeevan Robinson, David Trejo, and Lance Wilburn. Y'all would stand up there. These young men were academic all-district, and that is a grade point average of 92 or above through the grading periods of football season, and can be any classification. Now, there were two of the young men. With that being said, I would like to say too, our football team, our varsity team, through the first 9 weeks, our team GPA was 91.26. And so as a team, we averaged an 8. And so, once again, I think that speaks volumes for the type of young men that they were this season, the type of young men that they are becoming. But 91.26 is pretty impressive for a group of 50-plus young men. So very, very proud of them for that. We had 2 young men that made Academic All-State. Academic All-State, you have got to be a senior. You have to be an athlete of the team, a manager of the team, or a trainer of the team in good standing, of good moral character, and an overall grade point average of 92 or above. But we had 2 young men that qualified for that, and our first one. Who was second team All-State, Colby Loud. And first team Academic All-State was Lance Wilbur. Now, one other thing that we want to recognize this year that we have not done in the years past is our pillar awards. Okay, our 5 pillars are what the foundation of our athletic program is built on. Ownership, grit, being a blessing to one another, relationships, and trusting the process. Those 5 pillars represent everything that we're about in an athletic program, not necessarily just football, but everything that we represent goes through those 5 things. And so that is something that our young men and young women in our athletic department hear on a daily basis. And they do a really good job of striving to meet what those things mean, what they mean. And so I felt like that was something we needed to start recognizing within our athletic department in our banquets. And so for the first time, like I said, over the last 3 years, will be the first time we're going to recognize this. So with each of our pillars, we have 2 young men that we will recognize per the pillar that exemplifies it, represents it, and does what they can on a daily basis to do what that pillar adheres to. And we're going to start with our ownership pillar, which will be Coach Horton.
I have the privilege to hand out the ownership pillar award tonight. We start the week off with the ownership pillar. We try to get our athletes to understand the definition of ownership, which is the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. I believe these 2 young men displayed ownership with the way they prepared to play the game. Both young men were eager and ready to be coached each day, and coaches recognized that. We knew that each week we could count on these two young men to go out and make plays, not only make plays but do their job efficiently. What I enjoyed most about these young men, though, is the fact that both of them they may not come from the best life, they may not come from the worst life, but each day when something's thrown their way, these young men are able to stand up and say, hey, this is my life, and I own it, and I'm going to do what's best for me today. But no matter what life throws at them each day, they show up and they fight that off, and they're able to get their job done. But our ownership award will go to Jamari and Josh Smith and J.K. Rogers.
The quote that we used to teach them is "So what, now what?" A lot of people think that in terms of a negative connotation. So you face adversity, you kind of ask yourself that question, so what, now what? How do I move forward? But it's also positive as well. Anytime things good happen, you got to be able to acknowledge it, but then you've also got to be able to move forward with what's required of you in terms of handling the next situation. Wasn't a shock to me, both of these names, whether it was injuries, one of them in particular, suffered a few over the last couple years, to be honest with you. Whether it's overcoming the things that we asked them to do from a physical standpoint, but mainly just being the type of player that you knew was going to show up and be physical and be tough, and regardless of the situation, mentally, physically, emotionally, they were going to push through and be a staple for us, particularly in the hardest positions to play, which was on the offensive line. Both of our grit recipients are Osvaldo Diaz and Alan Cortez.
Good evening. The next award we're going to give is our commitment to being a blessing. Our commitment to being a blessing according to our athletic department culture. We play the game because we love each other. We're not looking for blessings to come into our lives, but we are looking to be a blessing in someone else's life. No athlete is bigger than the department. Our next two recipients are the epitome of that statement. These guys have truly embraced the meaning of being a blessing in the lives of others. You'd be hard-pressed to find two young men that support and encourage their teammates more than these guys. I had the honor of spending a few days with them a couple of years ago at a leadership retreat, and I learned a lot about what made these guys tick. The long and short of it, they're truly selfless young men who want nothing more than to see the ones they care about be successful. They're honest, hard-working, respectful young men of the highest moral character. Your 2024 Rough Rider Football Blessings Award recipients happen to be brothers, Trace and Trevor Lester.
Alrighty, I'm back again. I'm here to present the award on relationships. My wife just told me not to look down at my phone as much. I tend to get lost in the words, so hopefully I can try to be a little better this time. These two young men, they made coaching easy though. They're yes sir, no sir guys. Two guys that showed up every day and poured into other guys. They exemplified our motto of playing grass. They went around the community, they went around the team, they went around our campuses and made sure that everything that they spoke was positive. On and off the field, both guys emerged as leaders. Both athletes modeled positive attitudes. These guys took the time to, one of these guys still takes the time to come out and let me gripe at him once a day while he's lifting. The other one's a sophomore, so he didn't really have the choice right now. But your relationships pillar award goes to Grant Gregory and David Trejo.
All right, our last pillar is trust the process. It's the final pillar for a reason. Typically for our athletes, game day is on Friday, and we believe that the final pillar is the culmination culmination of all the 4 previous ones, and being willing to step out there and having the ability to go out there on the field competition and know the work that you've done throughout the week has prepared you. You can believe in it. The phrase we used to teach is to be where your feet are. So whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, somewhere in that process, you've got to be in there in that moment, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and do what's required of you to get to where you want to be. It also goes beyond that. I think when we think about the 2 kids that we get this to, trust in yourself, trust in your own abilities, and believing in those. But for us, I know as a coaching staff, it's trusting us too, in the things that we ask of you. One of the young men in particular, I don't think that we would have considered him for this award a year ago, especially a year and a half ago. But his willingness to trust us and keep showing up every day, and then believe in the things that we were coaching him in from a mental and emotional standpoint is huge. Halfway through the season, wasn't the same kid anymore. He was a leader in our team, and someone that we knew we could trust. And then the other one was a kid, I just call him Mr. Consistent. Every single day here, did what he was supposed to, believed in himself, and kept putting himself out there and finding ways that he might be able to help our team win, and all around trusting what we do. Those 2 young men are Jermaine Hunter and Brother Moore.
Stationary.
That's the generic.
That's the stationary. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care.
The last one of our 5 pillars is going to be one of our student athletes that exemplifies all 5 pillars on a daily basis. Pretty awesome young man. He, probably, I don't mind saying this, but he's probably not the most talented one out there. But you know what you're going to get from him every single day. Shows up, works hard, does a really good job of building relationships with his teammates, building a relationship with his coaches, with his teachers, with people in the school district and outside in the community. Does a really good job of the one that we just talked about, and that's trusting the process. He's played a few different positions, played 3 very meaningful positions for us this year. And just a very consistent young man, and really bought into the pillars and understands that there's more to them than maybe a Friday night game, that these 5 things are going to make him better in life and a better husband and father one day. And so our 2023 5-Pillar Award goes to Colby Loudon.
Introducing them. Cheer and football has been my whole entire life, and she somehow keeps pulling me along with her. I do want to say that recently, especially with competition, I'm a boy mom, I have 2 boys, but I missed being around all the girls and at cheer, and I really got to get to know some of you guys. Not as strict as her, as Erica, but I was just trying to figure you guys out. But I do want to say this group, awesome girls, the seniors are amazing. I really want to say that because I've seen a lot of groups coming through, and you guys are setting it up to the way it's supposed to be. So they've been great mentors to the younger girls as well. So Miss Erica is sick, so I'm going to go ahead and this is her speech that she has given you guys. I do want to say, please, that girl, she gives so many hours, sweats, so many tears for joy, laughter. She's so competitive, and she loves y'all with all her might. And for a cheer coach, I mean, it's not the highest paying job. And she has 2 boys too, so she's chasing her boys around also. But hug her neck. She loves you guys so much. So this is her speech, Miss Erica. First, I'd like to thank Coach Meeks, Miss Sandra Salas, the athletic department, and parents for putting on all this together and allowing us to recognize and celebrate our student athletes. I'd like to recognize some of these very special ladies. These girls amaze me daily with their hard work and dedication. They have pushed me as much as I have pushed them in every possible way. Most of these girls play numerous sports, are involved in various activities, have jobs, and still always show up and give 100%. Many times these girls would finish one sporting event and practice and rush to the next football game, pep rally, or cheer practice. The memories we have made along the way are the ones that I will always remember. We start our season at the beginning of July with starting practices, attending camp, and getting ready for the year. Once football season started, we also started getting ready for the UIL state competition by learning a whole new routine and adding those practices on top of all of our regular practices. This team was eager, always pushing each other in and out, wanting better to grow as a team. One week, we were working on new stunts, and I was ready to give up, change the entire thing. Then we were determined to push each other, and we got it. They've learned this routine. Competition's a new thing for Center. They've learned this routine at the beginning of the year, along with football, and loving on all you boys, just ready to kick butt at competition. That was their mindset with everything that they did this year. They would encourage each other, pour into each other, and do whatever it took to master anything, even at a 5 a.m. practice. Competition was new for us this year, and to say I'm proud of them would not be enough. We practiced a lot, y'all, like all day long. I was like, girl, you gonna practice? Yes, they practiced a lot. And some really long practices. When changes had to happen, they didn't complain, they jumped right in and made whatever changes needed to help the team. With these girls, when the girls took the mat for the first time ever as their coach, I got chills and tears watching them pour everything they had into a 3-minute routine, and everything we had worked for fell into place. I couldn't have been any more prouder of them. They finished 23rd out of 55 teams for the first time. And it was some extremely tough teams. 55 teams, guys. Next year, we're coming back stronger. I'm thankful to have had the opportunity to be their coach and get to play a small role in their lives. Guys, we are going to announce the 2022-23 varsity cheerleaders and the UIL competition teams.
Barrett, down the other assistant. Jayla Tutt. Cambry Bush. Destiny Arsabar. Julie Bird. Carson Crouch. Sarah Hall. Esmeralda Hernandez. Tazara Hill. Fatima Valdez. Camburn. Trista Britt. Holly Herndon. Melody Kahn. Sydney Newworth. Riker Tomlin. Kylie Hubbard. Chloe Rochelle. Lauren Causey. Hudson Wolf. Bailey Miller. Caroline Diaz. And our 23-24 honorary cheerleader, Brooklyn Oliver.
Okay, now I'm going to have Skylar Cosley who will come and present the Laney Brooke Parker Award. It's our special award for the cheerleaders. Thanks, guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Skylar Causey, and I'm going to try to get through this. I'm here on behalf of my family and all of Lane's friends and everybody to present the most important award, in my opinion, that somebody could get. Those of you that don't know, Lainey passed away in 2020, and she was a cheerleader. Lainey was the most bubbly little, just full of laughter. She loved cheer. She was at home on the sideline. She loved to cheer. Everything about her was sunshine. She was a little giggle box, and she really had a passion for cheer. So this award is going to go to someone that the coaches thought fit some of the characteristics that Lainey had. And this award is going to Carson Crouch.
Run that commercial if you can. Gaddy's Medical Supply. It's your one-stop shop for the supplies and the equipment that you need as you go along your recovery. Their compassionate and knowledgeable staff is there to help you as you get better. Gaddy's Medical Supply.
All right, everybody, that was Gaddy's Medical Supply. And now we're continuing on with the
We're the
program.
athletic trainers here, here to introduce team behind the team, as I like to call them. We do a lot behind the scenes that a lot of people may not recognize. Our group did not not grow in numbers this year, but we did have a lot of growth. We implemented a lot of new stuff this year. First thing being our summer camp. So these kiddos came up for 3 or 4 days before 2 days started. We did things like certify all over the CPR, discuss emergency response things. They now all know how to use EpiPens and air splints and implement EAPs and retrieve emergency equipment. Basic taping stuff, wound care. They do a ton of wound care for me on the sidelines. With that comes the knowledge of biohazard care and things that you are going to need in a healthcare setting. So, learned a lot. They also took on the role of a lot of the nutrition stuff this year. They helped with weight charts and helping to monitor hydration levels in our athletes and things that are going behind the scenes to make sure our kids are well taken care of. I don't know how many PB&Js and peanut butter crackers they put together this year, or how many cuties they peeled, or apples they sliced. But they always did it with a smile. We had leadership roles implemented. So Allie and Elizabeth were our 2 captains this year, and we put Amanda and Gabby Rumley in charge of social media outreach. They implemented a lot of team bonding. They really became like family this year. We went on a field trip over the weekend to a workshop that the East Texas Athletic Trainers Association puts on. They had a good time. They learned a lot, but more than anything, they enjoyed the time that they spent together, so they were building lifelong relationships that will last beyond their years in school, okay? So at this time, I want to introduce, we have 1 freshman this year, Gabby Sanchez. 1 sophomore, I haven't seen her tonight, Keziah Buckley. They're obviously behind the scenes. They don't get all the shine, but they're a great group of kids. We're going to give some specialty awards. I still have Gabby Rumley in my hand. Did Gabby Rumley know you? Oh, there she is. Sorry. My apologies. All right. So the first specialty award, I'm giving this to 2 different people. It is our Attitude and Enthusiasm Award. These 2 came into our program this year. I have nothing but positive interactions with them. They're extremely excited to be a part of it. They were always very happy and jovial. They contributed without complaints. And these 2 will be missed next year. They're both seniors. One is Gabby Rumley. The other is Ian Pace. I have a couple of strong work ethic awards. So these 2 don't have to be asked more than once to do something, and they do it to the best of their abilities. They are both multi-sport athletes, and they were competing in other sports while they were also doing what they do for us on the sidelines. So it takes a special person to juggle that. First one is Arturo Diaz. The other is Gabby Gonzalez. All right, we have an attendance and dependability award. So these kids get a schedule every week. On Sunday, Coach Meeks will put out the week at a glance. I make sure it matches what I've already created, and their multi-sport practices and games and competitions. Some have 7 a.m. practices when we open up with freshmen or treatments in the training room. Others will stay here till 8:30 at night when we finish up practices. So really just depends on the week, but there's one in particular who did everything she was asked, played sports while doing it, and then came to every other practice that she could possibly be at. And she's very dependable. That would be Abigail Robledo. The next award is what I call the Extra Mile Award. So I have 3 kiddos up here that were with me last year. All the others are new. Okay, the 2 are seniors, 1 is a junior. So if you're not familiar with CTE pathways, there's a whole wing of the building dedicated to it. When I came on board, I was a former CTE teacher, bound and determined to build this program into greater things, but that comes with classroom as well. So I'm building it from the ground up. It usually takes 3 or 4 years minimum to get a pathway completed, but I have 2 very selfless seniors who did what I asked them to do. And as seniors, they're taking 3 classes in that pathway, and they didn't have to do that. They could have gone home early, but they didn't. I appreciate that. That's Amanda. So Elizabeth's with me first period, then she comes back 8th period. She's with me right her time, and she's with me during practices. Amanda, same thing, except she's with me 4th, and most of the time before school as well. She's an early bird. She doesn't mind coming in at the 7 a.m. hour. Staff Choice Awards. So I go around all the coaches. I ask them who stood out to them. That year, or this year, that's going to Allie the Dream. And that is wholeheartedly because she is a very hardworking and assertive individual. She's one of our captains. She was a very good leader. And so she helped lead the way with teaching the younger ones what to do, and that earned her that award. And then Student Athletic Trainer of the Year. This individual was new to our program this year, but I could have given her any one of these awards. I think she finished 2nd in the Staff Choice Award, but then when you're going through, you're just trying to see how can I recognize all these kids, and this one could have fit in any category. And I'm glad she'll be back next year. That's Abigail Robledo. Thank you very much. I'm going to take a picture.
While coaches are gathering their thoughts, like finish up the Toledo Automotive, Campbell's Portable Buildings, Dev Boutique.
All right, our next recipient will receive our
Home and
2023
such
Iron
like
Rider
this one.
Award.
Pain
Iron
Pain's
Rider
the one that
programs
brings
will
us
use
this
our
whole
conditioning
thing, but
program to,
not quite finished with it.
test, measure,
We'll go back.
track, motivate, recognize our athletes through our strength and conditioning program. We test at least every 6 weeks. I would say the athletes have a chance to give a max effort test in the 6 categories: power clean, parallel squat, and the bench press in the weight room. And then we test max effort 40-yard sprint, pro agility, and a vertical. And then those 6 categories are ranked in terms of what the metric is. You get a maximum of 25 points. And then athletes who achieve a total of 100 points, we categorize as Iron Riders. Our goal as a team is to play, or at least show up on day 1 of the season with as many Iron Riders as possible. And I want to go ahead and recognize all of them right now. We have 15 on our 2023 football team. So if I call your name, please just stand up. You don't have to come up here. Caden Dixon, Jermaine Hunter, Cash Cross, Lance Wilburn, Cody Atkinson, Brad Edwards, Caleb Mosley, CJ Draper, Gabriela Moore, Wesley Calhoun, Jackson Parker, JoJo Ratcliffe, Hector Ramirez, Mason Mayo, and Dakota Carroll. Okay, those young men all achieved Iron Rider status prior to the start of the season, and we're very excited about that. We matched our number last year of 15, and put this challenge out there to our returners. So it's out there again for our 2024 team. Challenge is, can we play with more than 15 next year? So we'll see if we can get there. Couple things I will also recognize, some guys that we have here who won't get the reward, but they do own top of the chart records. So if you would stand up for parallel squat, Osvaldo Diaz. He has the current record at 535 pounds. Jermaine Hunter and Lance Wilburn. Everybody stand up. They are 40-yard dash. Okay, so they both have run a 4.5 40-yard sprint, and so they're both at the top. Lance, you can stay up. Caden Dixon, go ahead and stand up. They own the pro agility record at 4.2. And then on the last one present, that'd be Cash. He has the vertical record at 36 inches. Just some guys that'll be leaving us with a mark in our program, and a lot of guys here in the top 10 as well. But for our 2023 Iron Rider Award, he is not only the 2023 leader, but he also made a commitment to catch TJ, and he did so on the last day of off-season last year. And with the new overall Iron Rider score record of 132 points, still can't bench press more than me though, Caden Dixon. I'll make a note, he also has he owns the most points earned by a senior and the most points earned by a junior. So, congratulations.
Next, we will have Coach Lindsley come up to recognize our newcomer of the year.
While he's coming up, we were talking about how the whole thing's brought to you by Payne's Homeware and such like. We really appreciate that. A lot of these sponsors have made things like this possible, and we're sorry to interrupt and give them credit as well. But now we get back to recognizing athletes. What happened to mine? He had it.
There's a problem with the mic of the podium, folks. This is the newcomer of the year. The newcomer of the year is Team Bella.
TJ Bella. Oh, that's good stuff. TJ's a good one. They should have gotten you to introduce him.
Yes.
Next, presenting our Offensive Lineman Award is Coach Ballinger.
Not the most important award.
That's Coach Ballinger. It looks like an offensive lineman.
Yeah. Of course, Sabine State Bank brings us our coaches show every week, which this broadcast is taking place. We're going to speak with the coach, and Coach Harrison, I think, is going to join us as well.
Oh, really? Good.
That's good.
You too, Diaz, come on. All right,
Draw the
these guys
offensive.
right here, they are very hard-working young men. They do a lot of things and make a lot of things happen, and very seldom do you hear about us scoring a touchdown or the things that they do. And I just want y'all to give them a big round of applause.
I know he really talked about pancake meals that they
We set a lot of records and won a lot of football games, scored a lot of points behind these guys. And it's one of them. All right, sit down. Coach Meeks has been telling me he wants me to be more technologically advanced, so I've got my notes on my iPhone. This year's Outstanding Offensive Lineman Award goes to a young man who played, in my opinion, the toughest position on the field.
Center.
He played center, where you have to execute a playable snap
to the quarterback than block a nose guard that's inches away from you, that's coming at you with everything they've got on the movement of the ball. Not only did he do a great job of keeping nose guards out of our backfield on pass attempts and paving lanes for our running backs to run, he also did something that is close to impossible. We ran somewhere around 600 offensive plays this year. Our center had 0 non-playable snaps. That's quite impressive, and you don't have to be a football coach to figure that out. What's more impressive about our center is he came back from a serious knee injury, serious knee surgery, and rehabbed his knee right up until the first day of practice. What's even more impressive than that is he's one of the finest young men that I've ever had the pleasure to coach. I look for great things in the future. Go ahead, Mel. I look for great things in the future from this young man. He's a true leader and is respected by his teammates, coaches, and everyone he comes in contact with. I'm going to miss you more than you'll ever know. It's been a pleasure to coach you, along with you other seniors. My center, Mr. David Trejo.
High praise for that young man, from a coach that spends a lot of time with him. You ought to know.
Coach Burleson will now come present the outstanding defensive lineman.
Take a page from Coach Ballinger's book. If you're one of my defensive linemen, stand up, please. Our brothers in this group, but the fact is, you just saw the wildest, the craziest, the most untamable of the bunch. Okay? And I wouldn't have them any other way. This group of guys, I have to disagree with a statement earlier that the offensive line has the toughest job on the field. Heck, they know where the play's going. These guys have to line up in front of guys bigger than them, stronger than them, and just be meaner than them. And that's what they did. Okay. Love every one of them, especially my group of seniors. I couldn't ask for a better group. We've battled through injuries. We've battled through headaches. We've battled through each other more than anything. And they came together when they needed to come together. Among this group, my entire bunch of seniors in this bunch, it's real hard to put the Defensive Lineman of the Year award down to just one. But this year it's going to go to the guy who, in a 30-second time span, I might hug his neck, drag him off by his feet, turn around and have to stand in front of him so he doesn't try and chew a ref for doing something he shouldn't have done. But he is a wonderful young man, played his tail off, and this whole group, had it not been for each one of them, none of them would have shined like they did. This year's Defensive Lineman Outstanding Award goes to Mason Mayo.
Coach Cloud is going to present our outstanding defensive back.
I got the pleasure to present to us, or y'all, the Outstanding Defensive Back Award. I was just thinking about something to say about this young man, but all I could think about was the word dog. And he's just a dog. You know, it don't matter where you put him at. He's gonna give you everything he's got. And you love to coach a guy like that because he's not gonna take anything personal. You're just gonna take what you say and go and apply that to the game. This guy, he was third in total tackles on our team with 77, had 1 forced fumble, 11 pass breakups, 4 interceptions, and 1 defensive touchdown. Your outstanding defensive back is Timothy Johnson.
Next, we will have Coach Hollins present our outstanding offensive back.
This is going to be a real interesting race here.
All right, so I met this kid
Quarterback.
late June, early July, and kind of was able to relate to him because he doesn't say much at all. So what I noticed about him, he's hardworking, showed up to work every single day, and just really paid off on the football field. Very humble, doesn't boast much at all. Very selfless. He set a goal to have the most touchdown receptions. Touchdown receptions, and the moments where we had to take him out of the game, didn't really pout, but he did encourage the guys that came in to back him up. And he's probably one of the most explosive receivers I've ever had the pleasure of coaching. So this year's most outstanding back award goes to Lance McIntyre.
Next, we will have Coach Munoz come present the most improved. No? You? Coach Flowers? Come on up. You have headhunter. Most improved. Coach Flowers?
So I have the pleasure of giving the Most Improved Award this year, and I was not very surprised when I saw this individual's name, because every day I saw what this guy brought to the table, and everything that he did just proved that he was able to do what we all knew as coaches he can be able to do. Now, the coachability of this person set him apart from others and helped him become the player that he eventually became. Now, he may not be the most talkative person, but his actions day in and day out allowed him to receive this award. The most improved player for 2023 is Caleb Mosley.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, Coach Walton. I remember he ended up being player of the game for us later in the season, and Coach talked about that in the coach show. How Caleb did.
I have Coach Munoz presenting our headhunter award.
All right, I get the privilege to give out the Headhunter Award. As a headhunter, you would think it's somebody that doesn't run away from contact but embraces contact. I mean, this kid right here, from the very beginning of the season, we knew he was going to be our GoDaddy. I mean, I go back, I was telling somebody earlier, I go back to the Kilgore scrimmage. And I remember him taking that running back for Kilgore and putting his rear end on the sideline. And we're like, everybody just got excited.
This isn't accurate.
This kid led us in tackles with 182 tackles, setting a record for a year, for a season. And again, he's just a sophomore. He also had 13 tackles for a loss. Coach Huff told me he also had the most knockback hits, led us in forced fumbles. He was a first team all district selection, Mr. Cody Atkinson.
The newest in a long line of dominant linebackers.
Coach Harrison is going to present our most versatile.
most versatile athlete of the 2024 football team. Positions played, this young man played 8 positions for us. Inside linebacker, running back, H receiver. He was on the kickoff team. He was on the kickoff return team. He had tackles. He had sacks. At the running back position, he carried the ball 33 times for 135 yards. At the H receiver, he caught 9 passes for 171 yards. Kickoff return, he had 55 yards. Inside linebacker, he had 64 tackles, 2 sacks. The most versatile athlete for the 2023 football team is number 5, Red.
Yeah. Wide array of different positions.
Perhaps one that kind of was under the radar a little bit for this while.
Glad you guys do.
Yeah.
Coach Andy was not able to be here tonight, so I'm going to present our special teams MVP.
This is gonna be the kicker, right? I mean, it's gotta be our kicker.
Oh, God.
Say a few things about this young man. Obviously, we had a guy on our team that was first team all-district punter and first team all-district kicker. So if you think back to when we announced everybody, that kind of narrows it down for us in special teams. But let me tell you a couple things about Carlos. This year, Carlos was perfect on extra points, 71 to 71. He was perfect on field goals until I set him out there. I was the very last one against Gilmer from 51 yards, and it hit the crossbar and came back into the field of play. So until his last kick, did not miss a extra point or a field goal. So that, all that kind of speaks for itself. But there's one thing in particular that stands out to me with Carlos and the way he played the game, and his unselfishness in the special teams game. It is a huge part of the game of football. But I think back to the Dangerfield game. Did not play very well in the first half. Really didn't start very well in the second half. But our play on the punt team and the 2 times that we pinned them down inside the 5-yard line to where they could not gain any more momentum, to where we finally were able to gain momentum and score and eventually win the game. But us winning that game went to those 2 back-to-back punts that we had. Carlos understanding the game, understanding Dangerfield did not bring a rush. He caught the snap. He stood there. He stood there. He stood there. He let our guys run down the field. He let our guys go cover. He kicked it, and we had guys on the goal line waiting to down the ball. Happened 2 punts in a row, which allowed the momentum of the game to flip. So understanding the game and just the type of young man he is. But our 2023 Special Teams MVP is Carlos Hernandez.
Probably my favorite part of Mr. Shire is his consistency and excellence it was fun to,
Yeah.
it was just kind of fun to expect, because here it comes, here's another point.
That's right. It was a weapon. And this coach comes up, we'll also talk. I think the pizzeria.
Yeah. Our
Normally
coaches shows normally would be there, yeah. And of course, we got the folks we mentioned, every single sport, every game, every time. The Forge on the Square, Mooney's Emporium, and JBI
It's a
Insurance.
pleasure to present
We
the
do
office
nothing
of
without their
MVP.
support.
When I speak of this young man, I speak of someone who definitely wants to play the game of football at a high level. Not only at a high level, but wants to play the game at a physical level, and that's hard to find these days. Plenty of times this season, I asked this young man to go gain tough yardage on the ground. Not only did he do so, but he done so in a physical fashion. It's been a blessing to be able to coach you and watch you become an explosive player. This year and over the past 2 years, this young man etched his name into the record books and will stand alongside Center Rough Riders' best. But I'll say this: 2 years ago was my first time becoming an offensive coordinator. 2 years ago, I told you that what I thought about you. I thought you'd become something special, and I thought that we would have to trust one another, both of us, to have success. everything hadn't been sunshine and diamonds with you, I can promise you that. But I wouldn't trade anything. I wouldn't trade anything, any part of it for anything, man. Continue putting positive energy out there into the world, and you'll get that back. I told you that a long time ago. One thing you got to do is change that about yourself, and if you do that, the world's limitless for you. It was a pleasure watching you run wild the last 2 years. Wow, man. I'm extremely excited to see what your future holds. As his mom would say, Mr. Dixon, somebody needs you, so come on down. Our 2023 Offensive MVP, number 32, Peyton Dixon.
Hard to argue with that. Such a force once he got a hold of the ball. One of the 2 or 3 most exciting Rough Riders I ever remember watching. There's not very many like him.
All right, so for our defensive MVP, some guys that have been recognized already, led the team. So we've already recognized the young man who led our team in interceptions with Tim Johnson, and we know what Cody did as far as tackles and knocking back, tackles for loss. So statistically speaking, this young man is not, didn't lead a category specifically. But he did a lot of things for us that weren't necessarily at the top of the statistical chart every Friday, but he was at least 2 or 3 every Friday. In addition to that, he was a young man that started the season at a different position. He asked all spring to change positions, and I wouldn't let him because I just didn't think that it was what was best for him and where he played the previous year. But as we evaluated our team and got to the summer, we realized that we really needed him to maybe play a different position. So we started the season outside linebacker, which is what he wanted to play, because he said he wanted to be closer to the box, he wanted to make more tackles. We got through 2 days, and we realized that what was best for our team was that he returned to the position he played previously and play safety, because that's where we needed him. And when I asked him to do that, even though it wasn't where he wanted to play, he said, I'll do whatever I need to do for us to win. Played that position. His ability to do a lot of things on defense, tackle, take on blocks, cover, play in different parts of the field, gave us the ability as a staff whenever we evaluated opponents and wanted to see ways we could utilize him in terms of a game plan. We had the freedom to do so. So 1 week he may be a cover safety, the next week he may be in man coverage, the next week he may be in the box as an additional inside linebacker. When we look at the value for us in terms of what he gave us, this guy definitely was our most valuable player. But the thing that jumped out for us as a staff didn't have anything to do with that. It was after the 2-week grind of Van and Carthage back to back, and us struggling defensively. He came to me and said, Coach, we need to talk. And I said, like me and you? And he was like, no, like the team. We aren't doing what we said we were going to do. We aren't playing how we said we were going to play, and we need to have a talk about it. I said, sounds good to me, but I'm not doing the talking, you're doing the talking. And he's not one to do that, but when I challenged him, he stepped into it, challenged his teammates to be better about what we demand of him, challenged them to play together and to be a team and to play for each other and run the ball. And it had a huge impact on our performance the last 2 weeks of the season. And that's where I'm most proud of him. That's where I know his value came into play. And your MVP for our defense 2023 is Jermaine Hunter.
All right, our last award of the night, our 2023, it's time to go with it. 2023 Team MVP. Couple things about our recipient of this award. One, I want to talk about the type of player and young man that I've got to know over the last 3 years when he started as a sophomore. This goes back to the start of the night when I thank the parents for allowing us to coach your children. And thank you for the things that you do away from here in terms of instilling values into our young men and our young women, and it being an extension of our program. But I have pretty much some form of football game in my living room every night between my 4 kids. And one of them is this person every night. And I tell them this all the time, that they have no idea the people that watch them on a daily basis. They're going to show up tomorrow night to the basketball game and watch you guys perform. They go home and then they're you. And you know, you need to take pride in that. You need to take that as a compliment. You need to understand that there's always eyes on you. And so the fact that mine do that, you know, that's a big compliment. And this young man, he has grown to be better with this. He probably a few years ago wasn't as inclined to take time out of his day to walk over to the side and visit with somebody, maybe calling his name or wanting to visit with him or take a picture. And that's a big deal. That matters, and that's a trait that is going to be really good for you. I think that's a lot more important than leaving here as the single season passing yards leader, the career touchdown passes, career passing yards, leaving here with almost every single category in quarterback play that he's going to hold the record. And I think a lot of that is a lot more important than that. And a lot of that you guys already know. That's been put out throughout the season. That's things that we've tracked. It's out there. So those were stats and stuff you know. But I think you needed to know the other side to our 2023 recipient, Cash Cross. Once again, I want to thank everybody for their time tonight, being patient as we honored everybody that we did. I really appreciate that. This is recognition that our young men and our young women needed. Once again, as you leave from here, seniors, on the table over here is your banner that was on the back of the stadium. There's a basket as well as an envelope with your name on it. Also on the window is your number. All right, those numbers are yours that have pictures from the season and past seasons. Take all that, please. Anybody else who wants to take pictures, once again, we'll leave it up. Y'all come take them. Once again, thank you very much for your time tonight.
How about that? Numbers comprise images that they keep forever. That's a touch that I don't think your football program thought of back in the late 80s. So that's a
Jersey and helmet.
Yeah, if you're lucky. If you're stolen, got away with it. Well, y'all, a good banquet that don't go away. Now we get to talk to some of these folks. JBA Financial brings us the coach talk. Center Motor Company will bring us our talk with our players. We'll hear from some of these sponsors while we're getting ready, some of the folks that made this possible. So you stick around. We'll be right back. The Big Red Hardware Store. Paint and Pain hardware and such like. Those were good days. But the Big Red Home and such like.
For over a generation, Tomlin Insurance Store has provided life, home, ranch, and farm insurance for the people of Shelby County. What began with John Tomlin over 40 years ago is now in the hands of Matt and Mallory Snyder. People and a tradition you can trust. Tomlin Insurance Store.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedic. Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
At Rough Rider Oil and Lube, they understand two very important things. First, you and your family spend a lot of time in your vehicle, so you need to take good care of that vehicle so it can take care of you. That's the specialty of Rough Rider Oil and Lube, protecting the engine that gets you where you need to go. Second, Rough Rider fans, they deserve the very best, so you're always welcome at Rough Rider Oil and Lube.
Taxes. The government takes my money. I don't know what to do.
Well, you need Fast Tax because you put it off to the last minute and you got to get it right, but you got to get it fast. So you always go to Fast Tax. That's your choice in Center, Texas.
Andrews Construction is your local professional choice. They were the first sponsors of Lady Rough Rider basketball, and they're your first call for ground-up construction or renovation. Andrews Construction backs the Riders. Well, welcome back, everybody. We're ready to start talking to some folks that need a little time in the spotlight. Yeah, you look good on camera. Tell everybody who you are first, Coach. Okay. And who's this sitting next to you?
This is my Student Athletic Trainer of the Year, Abigail Robledo.
Okay, you just won an award.
Yes.
Okay, so Abigail, why did you decide to be a trainer? How did you even get here?
I started because I thought it would be interesting and I wanted to help people out and to learn new things. That's mostly why, and I enjoyed it.
Well, it ended up being okay.
Yes.
So you think you'll do it again?
Yes.
What clues you in that someone like her walks up and says, I think I want to do this? Do you always say yes, or do you check into them? How do you know she was going to be any good?
Well, my first year, I just didn't know anybody, and I was coming in at the season. So, yeah, I kind of did take anybody who wanted to. Having been here for a year, building rapport with the kids, we did an interview process that started in the spring and March. So they had to write an essay, fill out the application, get a few teacher recommendations. So I really didn't have any that didn't justify coming into the program, but we did have a few that decided it wasn't for them. But that's pretty much how we narrow it down. I kind of make them go through their due diligence in the spring
Good.
in order to prep for that.
And obviously paid off with this one. Tell me two things. First, what's the thing about it, the specific thing about being a trainer that you enjoyed the most?
Since I've been learning for nursing and stuff,
Oh, okay.
Miss Horton has taught me lots of things about like taping ankles and like how to split and stuff, and that's so interesting to me because I can take that for
Oh, yeah.
other stuff.
That's got all sorts of application for later. And what is one thing about what you've experienced that surprised you, that you thought, no, okay, this is not at all what I thought I was getting into?
The work that we do is sort of harder than I expected, but not very surprising. I expected it, but at the same time, I didn't.
Okay, it was a little bit.
Yeah.
Couldn't brace yourself for the reality of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, Coach, same way with you. What is it about her? And you said it on stage, but now that it's more intimate, what is it about her that was the reason she won your award?
Well, what I said on stage was she could have won any 5 of the awards that I put out there: work ethic, attendance, dependability, or attitude and enthusiasm. She was the first runner-up for the Staff Choice Award because she was just there all the time. So, like I said, we make schedules weekly. She did her part but then she would just volunteer and show up every day after school anyways. And so she went above and beyond. Never had any issues out of her as far as any type of discipline issues or just bad attitudes or just having rough days. She always seemed to be positive and uplifting and hardworking. So that was pretty much the total package. You can't ask for more than that.
And the great thing about your job and about being involved in an activity like this is 7 or 8 or 9 years from now, you'll end up seeing her in Walmart or, in town, and you will be so glad, and she will be able to show you something that she's achieved or maybe her own children, and it will be like a reunion. That it's happened to me as a teacher, and it's what makes it worthwhile. I mean, is this one that you're going to want to meet her kids?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She's a great one. Hopefully she goes off to college and accomplishes whatever she's setting out to do. Right now I think it's nursing, right? That's her goal. And then come back and contribute to this town. Like, that's what I keep preaching to them. Like, you hear it all the time. I'm ready to just get out of here. Well, get out, but then come back and make it better. Yeah.
Please consider coming back.
Absolutely. We had that talk.
I've never really thought about athletic training as kind of the sport for nurses. But, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. What else can you do that's more direct?
Well, we have a health science department here, so I definitely encourage kids that are interested in anything health related, health care related, like come out and get your hands wet. Like, you're going to do things related to health care that you're not going to get that experience anywhere else. Even if you don't want to go into athletic training, you're going to take away valuable experiences for sure.
Both of you, thank you for dropping by. You never get to talk to the trainers after a game, so thank you and congratulations to you. And tomorrow, pack the gym. It's
yes.
Center in Chapel Hill for the district league.
You must come in and be loud and be proud. We want both programs to win a district championship.
Yes, ma'am. That would be something. Purple up.
We'll be there.
We're going to hear from a sponsor. We'll be right back with our cheerleaders. This Wallington Shires and Pierce production on the YouTube channel of the Northeast Texas Sports Network, brought to you in part by Batters Law Firm. When your case matters, it's got to be Batters. Mathis Realty, proud of East Texas, one home at a time. And Shelby Savings Bank, your local bank. Lacey Payne invite you home and such like. All right, everybody, we're back. While Ms. Gregory struggles with her headset, Carson, you didn't have any trouble with that.
No,
it went straight on.
Sorry.
It's a lot more of a natural.
Yep.
Okay, these are our an award-winning cheerleader tonight who got a very special award. We'll talk about that in a moment. Carson, good to see you. And Kara Gregory, who is 2 months ago, you were not involved with the cheerleaders, and now you're here talking about them.
Yeah.
But how cool. The first time that Center Cheer goes to competition, you're there. Talk a little bit about that competition.
I mean, I will say Erica Klein, their varsity cheer coach, has kind of pulled me in just because I was never really part of the whole competition part of it. I was just a spirit cheer coach.
Yeah.
And she has brought it here and has worked their butts off and wanted them to just have not only to understand how hard it to work for something, to be on that stage for all the years. It seemed like years you are practicing, but also just the community from freshmen all the way to seniors. They bonded like no other, and had a lot of years of, I mean, you keep saying years, hours of practice, and went there in Fort Worth and really did amazing. Awesome.
Why did it have to be a place like Fort Worth?
I mean, that's how she dragged me.
That's an exciting possibility. Kara, did you do competition in Henderson when you were?
I competed once in college, but we never did in Henderson.
Yeah. And I don't think it was done much until the last 10 or 15 years. I'm glad it's gotten here. Okay, Carson, 7 years cheerleader, right?
Yes, sir.
1 year is competition.
Yes.
What was the difference? Are you glad you did it? And Was it something you wish you could have done more?
Yes, it was definitely really fun, and I wish I had another year to go back and do even better, but it was a lots of fun preparing and getting to go. And
You're the pioneers.
yes.
You're the ones they'll look back on and go, way back in the day, Carson Crouch.
The first ones.
Yeah, first ones. It was fun. It was lots of fun.
Obviously it's competition, but what makes this year different in the way it feels than the years before?
I feel like our team, we just really had to work together and change a lot at the last minute, so it was fun getting to work together and seeing everything come together when we did take the mat, and it all just fell into place, and we were really proud of our team.
You're a softball player, so
Yes.
you understand how competition brings you close together.
Yes.
It can also tear you apart.
Yeah.
There a little bit of that, I think, would be healthy for a cheerleading squad, right?
Yes, for sure. Yes.
And I will also say it starts at the top with the leadership. I mean, if Erica didn't rally the troops and get this thing going, I mean, they would not have come together. And they respect her. She's very strict, but that's what makes them good. That's why they're so awesome.
Well, it's because I'm sure she did it because going to competition, you get paid so much more. There's no financial motivation. She did it because she felt like they needed to.
Yes.
And that's so
to be
rare.
a part of it, to work hard for something.
Right. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's put in the extra work because.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Well, Carson, you won a very special award tonight, and talk a little bit. What was the award for folks that weren't watching, and what does it all mean?
It was the Elena Brooke Parker Award. She was a very amazing person and cheerleader, and it's an honor to be able to receive her award in memory of her.
Do you remember?
Yes. I wasn't close with her, but I do remember her, and she was younger than my sister, and they cheered together a little bit, so it's cool. It's very cool to have received it. Yes.
Well, it's a family tradition. Sister, mom, all in the purple and gold, and it's wonderful to have you here. Congratulations, and I look forward to more from your predecessor. I mean, your descendants in the future. And Kara, thank you for sticking around.
You're welcome.
Always
You're welcome.
good. We'll be right back. We'll talk to some more deserving folks right after this. Your Rough Rider Winter Sports schedule brought to you in part by Fast Tax. Get it right. Get it quick. Abundant Love Ministry, a place for everyone to worship. Tomlin Insurance Store, Texans serving Texans. Rough Rider Quick Lube, they back the riders all the way. And Andrews Construction, the original sponsor of Lady Rider basketball. And Shelby Savings Bank, your local bank since 1981.
All right, folks, welcome back. Now's the most important part, or most important segment of the show, where we talk to the most important player on the most important part of the team.
No bias. This is completely bias-free.
I was also center. I was also the outstanding offensive lineman. So,
what was your number?
54.
What was your number?
72.
Okay.
Right.
Too Tall Jones. That works.
Right. Randy White, Too Tall Jones,
That's
baby.
it right here.
So let's talk about it for a few minutes. Okay. Coach said, all those snaps, 600-something snaps, and no, you never rolled one back there.
Yes, sir.
That's hard. What percentage of the time did you have a nose guard, and what percentage of the time did you play an even front?
I mean, most of the time they were down in a 4-man because we ran the ball so much.
Right.
But I was always helping on my guards. But we did have some nose guards, and there were some big boys out there.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, I think, is when you snap the football. Did we ever? I think only once or twice did we ever take a snap under center, right?
Yes,
Where
sir.
you came in. I think I saw that. Most of the time it was shotgun, even in short. Even to my chagrin, Coach, even in short yardage situations, we still snap from the shotgun formation. Did you ever have to reach? You know what I mean by a reach block, where you have to go play side and
Yes,
get
sir.
a guy gets on the play. That's the hardest thing, right? Is to snap. Is to do a shotgun snap, and then have to make a reach block.
Yes, sir, it is.
I don't know what he just said. And 99% of the people watching, even football players, don't really get that. Talk me through that.
Okay, so a reach block for a center, he's shaded play side, and, you have to obviously it's a reach block, so you got to reach them. But, snapping the ball and trying to be faster than them guys, and them guys are right there just watching the ball, getting ready for it to be snapped. And, you got to be fast because if not, that play goes down on you.
You have a guy in the A gap or even over the guard, and the play's going to run to the left. And your job as a center is to snap the ball, and then you got to give a little ground because you're blocking a guy to the left of you. The ball's going over there. You got to get head in front of him. It's just tough, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
What was your favorite game of the year?
Of the year, probably that third game of the year, that North DeSoto game.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Even though it didn't turn out right.
Yes, sir.
Why was that?
I mean, their defense was. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
They were really good. I mean, even going into that game, we knew what we were getting into. And, I mean, we just gave it our all. But
so, did you play a game where you just owned the guy on the other side, and he just owned him? I mean, he was just your person, where you just who was what game was that? We won't name a particular player.
It was Dangerfield.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That was fortuitous. We needed all the help and domination we could get to win that one.
Yes, sir. It was a fun game for me, but
Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, what are your plans after graduation?
After graduation, I don't know. I plan on attending college. I don't know. I'm undecided on what college right now, but I want to major in construction management.
Oh,
wow.
That would be a very lucrative enterprise.
Just lots of reach blocks for construction. Lots of moving parts, man.
Of course, there's the other side when you get to block backside and you get the angle on somebody, you could just really just crush them, right? That was fun, right?
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, everybody, that's number 72.
Congratulations,
the
man.
most outstanding offensive lineman of the year, playing the most important position on the football field, on offense, defense, special teams. As you heard it from the coach.
Coach said. I heard that.
Yeah. So congratulations on your award, and good luck in your future.
Yes,
and
sir.
it was a pleasure watching you work.
Thank
And
you.
we did watch you. I promise you that.
Thank you.
We'll hear from a sponsor. We got one more student to talk to, and we'll be back with more from the banquet after the. Your Rough Rider Winter Sports schedule brought to you in part by Fast Tax. Get it right. Get it quick. Abundant Love Ministry, a place for everyone to worship. Tomlin Insurance Store, Texans serving Texans. Rough Rider Quick Lube, they back the riders all the way. And Andrews Construction, the original sponsor of Lady Rider basketball. And Shelby Savings Bank, your local bank since 1981. Welcome back to our totally nonpartisan coverage of the athletic banquet. This is the football banquet. What are you holding there, Cash?
I guess it's an advertisement for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, and it needs to be one that we get out.
Right.
People need to show why is
Are
this
you gonna,
one
what are
important?
you going to be doing tomorrow when the game's going on?
Playing.
Oh, you're going to make it for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So why is this game important?
Because we lost to this team, and this is a chance for us to win and get back into so we can play for the district championship.
Yeah. If the guys win, it's a tie for first, and assuming you win out, then we'll have to play again. But maybe they'll lose. Maybe Kilgore will get them.
Yeah.
As long as we take care of business. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. But Shires, we're here talking about
We're
fall.
going to talk
and-
about football.
and the MVP award.
That's
you
right.
won.
So, Cash, it was just a pleasure watching you play football. And I guess we could just start. Let's tell everybody. We've talked about this in our basketball broadcast. But what's your future plans after you graduate from high school?
To play football at Lamar.
Right. And do you know what you're going to study?
Business.
Business.
Uh-huh.
Good deal. So, you're really good at basketball and all these other sports, but football is that your favorite sport?
Yes, sir. When I was growing up, basketball was, but then kind of like I started noticing I was better at football than I was at basketball.
Now, so you play quarterback, and Coach talked about that, but I also noted on several times you also played some defense, and you brought the wood. I mean, do you like contact?
You hit people.
So Sometimes.
It wasn't your thing. Okay.
No, it's not. So
for someone
you
that was doing it and it really wasn't his thing, you did
it really
job.
well. Yeah. So, let's just think about what was your favorite game that you've played over the last 3 years?
Yeah, not just this year, but of all time.
Favorite game. Probably like I think it's always Tatum. 'Cause we're always like clicking on our centers, playing a great game on offense. Yeah, so I would say Tatum.
Right. There was that one. I mean, from exciting football games. I mean, the one 2 years ago when we won in overtime. What about the playoff games? What do you remember about, like, especially like not this year but last year when we made a run? I mean, what's your fondest memory of that?
Probably beating Liberty Alu, like beating them bad.
Yeah, that's always fun. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you had a number of good receivers. I mean, who was the guy, like, who was your Diggs if you were the Buffalo quarterback? I mean, who was the guy that you just said, I got to get this ball, I'm going to throw it to this guy? Who was it?
Through all my years?
Yes.
Momar.
Oh.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you could have Marmar on one side and Lance Wilburn on the other, you did. That was last year. That's an all-star cast, man. The all-time leading passer, throwing two of the all-time leading receivers, and it just happened to be here in the last 2 years. Exciting stuff.
Yes. Well, Cash, this kind of closes it down. This is kind of the bookend, the end of your high school football career with this banquet, because now we move on to basketball. Any final thoughts about your football career here at Center High School?
Think I had a great season. Wish I would have won more.
And what about what Coach said? He standing over there when he gave you your award, that people are watching you and looking up to you, and I mean that's true.
Yeah.
Story. We had a football game for my kids' birthdays when they were about 8 to 12, and I went out and did lines, and it was big. My sister's front yard, and 1 year we had I taught the quarterback, and he showed up. Coach, he may have been the worst starting quarterback in the history, but it didn't matter. They were like, oh, and it was so exciting. So it's what you said up there, that these kids want to be you. Do you buy that?
Yeah, I think it's good because like kids look up to anybody who's like bigger.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it needs to be someone that is deserving of it. And for years now, that's been you. That's pretty cool, Cash. That's your legacy here, and I hope that you take it with you to Beaumont.
Yes, sir.
Well, with that beautiful piece of poetry, I guess we will end this football coverage, the Rough Rider broadcast team's football coverage of Cash Cross, but the basketball coverage tomorrow. Pack that gym. Y'all, we will talk to one more individual, our athletic director, as we wrap this up. Cash, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure and honor watching you play football, and we're going to miss you. But we look forward to watching you play on Saturdays now.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Nobody wants to be sick, but at least at Aurora Concepts, being sick is easy. From their spacious waiting room to their experienced and friendly staff, they care about you. They listen to you. They're here for you. From start to finish, that's the experience at Aurora.
Wiggins Farms. You know, they call them the watermelon family, but the product from their farm, when the melon's just a baby, all the way through to the harvest, to your table. It's the juiciest, best melons available. Wiggins Farms, hat not included. Welcome back. It's the Rick Meek Show.
It's the final segment.
In 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Good banquet.
It went really well.
We are the last human beings here, except for one of your youngins, we shut the place down.
We did. We did. We shut it down.
I thought it was great attendance tonight, especially given the nasty weather.
Right. I agree. We had a really good turnout.
2 months since the last game.
Right. Planned for more than we planned last year, and as we were feeding, we had to get more tables out and set up and more chairs. So pretty excited about the attendance and the turnout.
It looked like they're going to run out of green beans. I mean, I think we got the last few.
I
green beans.
ate some of your leftovers with my fingers.
That's quite all right.
Pretty good. Well, Coach, one thought as you look back now, you've had a little bit of time to get some perspective on the season. What will you remember this 23 campaign for?
Well, I think a lot of it is going to be kind of like what you heard the coaches tonight. I mean, we talked about a lot of character tonight, and this group really molded into that. We did a lot of really good things on the field. Obviously, unless you're the last one standing, there's always going to be other games you wanted to win. But there's only one team that's sitting in that boat in the state, our classification. So. But really the avenue of athletics is much bigger than that, and I think the more we can develop our young men into productive citizens, those are really good victories. And so we spoke a lot on that tonight. A lot of it was seniors that are headed into either other sports right now, but very shortly into college and into the workforce. And I think we're putting some good men out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that one that was just sitting here.
Correct. And I mean that's a true story. I mean it's every day, and I know you made the same analogy to what goes on. I mean they do not understand the eyes that are on them all the time. And that's adults down to kids. Mm-hmm. Like they wear they wear an X on their back, and there's kids, and when we go over for drop off on Friday mornings at the bus stop, and we take them over in the spring to read to classes, but just all the time they look up to them, and they can't wait to be them. We were all in that boat. I mean, we were all. I can tell you at that age at one point.
There were a handful of people in this room that were those people.
That's right. So it's not like it's something that's just happened. We all lived it, and the more they understand it, then it does a lot of things. One, it makes our athletic department stronger, but then it gives them role models to be to other kids in our school district.
When you grew up, what size school were you in?
Well, I went to a few with Dad coaching. But at that age, I was actually at Chapel Hill up until 6th grade. So
same size.
So same size school.
And I just think that there may not be as many eyes on our students as there are in, say, a big 6A school with multiple high schools in the city.
Right.
But the eyes are much more intensely focused. It means more.
Right.
Yep.
Because
I think we're that size, optimal size for that.
And it's kind of good news, bad news. Yeah. It means more.
Right.
But there's more pressure on you.
Yep.
They see what you do poorly as well.
That's right.
And if you have a moment where you let it go. So it's high stakes.
It is. And some and I try to tell them that's not unfairly judged. Like, you guys get the opportunity to do some really cool things that other kids in the school don't, because they do not choose to give up their time the way you do and work.
Right.
So there is some work reward, but you're held to a high standard. That's that's anything but everything that you've worked for.
Yeah.
And you've got to wear that close to your vest in the decisions that you make. But I think that's one of the biggest things with this group tonight. Like, they truly they started playing the game for each other, and like with Jermaine, all the different positions that he played, the type of young man that Cash is, the growth in Caden. 3 years ago, Caden was not the type of young man that he is right now. Like, Caden has grown exponentially, and just maturity. And he was able to do that because of the guys around him. If they were all immature, he'd have never grown up. And, so that's That's the purpose of a team. That's why there's no better avenue to life than athletics and what the real world really is. And I think we might have joked about it on the show one Monday night, but the game of football or the game of athletics period is not modified. It's not like the classroom. Like tomorrow night we play Chapel Hill, Coach Harrison and whoever the coach is from Chapel Hill don't get to exchange modifications and adjust the scoreboard and then go play the game. Like you start at 0-0 and the best team's going to go win. It doesn't matter what your limitations are. You've got to find a way to work around them.
But losing might hurt my feelings.
Right. Yeah, it sure might. So you better learn from it and work harder.
Right.
So anyway, that's why they need to quit messing with athletics. Leave it like it is, so our kids continue to grow through the vehicle of sports. I mean, there's not a better way.
Well, let's turn the page and talk a minute about kind of what you said. I mean, 2 back-to-back 7-win seasons, a big run in the playoffs 2 years ago. This year we had the unfortunate or misfortune to play the state champs in the first round.
Yeah.
But I think we talked about this on the show. I mean, this is the foundation is now built.
Correct.
So now it's time to start putting up the walls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're talking about with the Iron Riders.
Right.
Right? Because that's when the team is forged.
Yes.
Is getting those Iron Riders. And how many of those guys do we have coming back? You know?
So we currently have 7. This time last year we had 5, and we had 4, and we started the season with 15. After our Christmas testing, we have 7. So we're 3 ahead of the point of where we're at right now. So there's no question the everything that has to do with our success next year is happening right now in the weight room and in our strength and conditioning program. And we have full buy-in from the kids and just their presence and the way they work every day. But they see the results. And I really, one of our biggest beliefs is record, rank, and publish. So everything we do every single day, we're going to record it, we're going to rank it, and we're going to publish it in the hallway. So whatever we do tomorrow, when they come in on Wednesday, it's on the wall, and they're going to see where they correlate to where they've been and the rest of their teammates. And so if you have somebody now that, I mean, obviously the seniors but like our juniors, take TJ Bellin. He can look all the way back to when he was a freshman and see where he's gotten to, and then he can look at everybody else on the list and see where he ranks, either with his position group or his class or the total team. And once again, competition. You've got to compete. There's no other way around it.
And we talked to 2 young ladies, one younger than the other, Carrie McGregory and Carson Crouch. This year, center cheerleading went from sort of a ceremonial position to that plus that element of competition. That's got to be a good thing for that program.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with competing, nothing. And we say it almost daily with our kids. I mean, it's okay to compete. Like, it's okay. Like, it doesn't matter how you show up that day, what mood you're in. It's time to go compete. And then once we get done competing, then we can worry about other things that maybe we need to worry about to go on with our day. But you got to compete.
It's great. Well, Coach, thanks.
Man, thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all being here tonight very much.
We need to somehow or another cut this last bit with him out and put it somewhere where everybody sees it, not just at the end of a banquet. That's like the mission statement. Right. And you expressed it very well.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I really appreciate y'all and what y'all do, and especially being here tonight. And it's been awesome. I look forward to many more Monday nights.
Absolutely.
Let's do it a week from today.
Let's do it.
Right. So we got packing the gym for tomorrow night against Chapel Hill.
Tomorrow night.
Then Friday we had the Spring Hill and basketball. I know our soccer team is well underway, and then next Monday we'll be back at the pizzeria.
Hey, the boys took the number 2 team in the state to overtime Friday night. Kilgore.
First district game, and they almost beat Kilgore.
Game. It was 3-2 in overtime.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I wish we won, but that's great.
But I'm telling you, we got opportunity.
They got their own attention.
Yeah, we did. Well, I think and other people around the area.
Yeah. Right. Was that up there? Or was that?
It was in Kilgore.
Right. So we get them at our house. We may have to make sure we're there to cover that.
That's right. We'll get to work on that. Well, Coach, thank you. And
thank y'all.
Well, we very much appreciate you being here. We're going to
wrap it up here from the cafeteria. We'll be right back in just a moment or two. And such like. Well, look, Shires, everybody's gone.
Yep.
We closed them down. What a great banquet. Oh, there's one guy down there.
Look,
He's
there he
wearing
is.
red. He's wearing red. He's still here. All right, man. Good banquet. It's good to see some young men and young ladies rewarded and awarded, but looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yep. Go Rough Riders.
We'll see you tomorrow about 6 o'clock for the pregame show with the girls and the guys against the Dogs and Lady Dogs at Chapel Hill. See you then. Evans' three-point shot. It's good. Red Horse takes it to the house. This has been a presentation of the Rough Rider broadcast team, brought to you by